Most moms worry about their kids' grades. Beth Smith worries about which dimension her kids are from. She'll perform microsurgery on a thoroughbred's heart at 3 p.m., then put 3 bullets into the head of an alien parasite at 3:05, without spilling her wine. Here's the terrifying part. The precision is exactly the same. Those steady surgeon hands that save lives. They end them just as efficiently. Beth isn't just Rick's daughter, she's his masterpiece. A walking weapon disguised as mom, and she might be the most dangerous Smith alive. Today we're dissecting how a wine-drunk horse doctor became the multiverse's most underestimated predator, power scaling her from 1% to 100%. By the end, you'll never look at her the same way again. Chapter 1-1%, Motherly Mayhem. Our journey starts at just 1% power, where Beth seems almost ordinary. Almost. By day, she's literally saving lives in a vet clinic, calmly elbow deep in a racehorse's heart like she's frosting a cake. Most people would pass out at the sight of a ruptured artery, but Beth, she's humming through surgery, steady as a rock. That composure isn't just for the OR. When the real chaos hits, it's game on. But medical emergencies are just Beth's day job warm-up. The real test comes when monsters invade her home. Enter the infamous alien parasite incident. The Smith house gets overrun by shape-shifting pests that implant fake memories, meaning anyone in the family could secretly be a bug-eyed imposter. Total nightmare fuel, right? While most would scream, Beth watches Rick and Morty pump their guns like it's just another Tuesday. No hesitation. She watches Rick blast Uncle Steve, sorry, Uncle who? Sees Morty wipe out Pencilvester in a shower of stuffing, and doesn't even flinch when cuddly imaginary friends turn into ground chuck. To prove she and her kids are real, she even brings up a painful mother-daughter memory, her getting pregnant with Summer at 17, just to make sure none of them are parasites. Then it's open season on every freaky imaginary friend crawling out of the woodwork. Beth goes on a rampage through her own house, pumping lead into Frankenstein monsters, talking pencil people, you name it. By the end of the ordeal, green alien guts are splattered everywhere. Remember, this is the weak version of Beth, taking out alien parasites before finishing her morning coffee. Hell, she even shoots a family friend point blank, just to be sure he's not one of them. Whoops. Poor Mr. Poopy Butthole. Her bad. If that's Beth at 1%, what the hell happens when we dial her up? At 10% strength, Beth graduates from suburban denial to cold, hard acceptance. Picture this: the Galactic Federation takes over Earth, turning her world into an alien-controlled nightmare. While Jerry stumbles around popping Federation-issued antidepressants and getting assigned menial jobs, Beth sees the bigger picture. She's watching her father get dragged to space prison, her family torn apart, and her entire reality crumble. And she's not having a breakdown, she's taking notes. When Rick sacrifices himself to save the family at the end of The Wedding Squanchers, most spouses would be relieved their dangerous and crazy father is gone, not Beth. She's the one person who truly understands what they've lost. While Jerry celebrates his new Federation job like it's a promotion, Beth sees the cage for what it is. She's already planning, already thinking 3 moves ahead like her father taught her. The Federation may have won the battle, but Beth Smith, she's playing the long game. At 10%, Beth isn't throwing punches yet. She's learning the system, mapping the enemy, and quietly becoming the strategic mind Rick never knew she had. Jerry's adaptation is survival. Beth's adaptation is reconnaissance. The Federation thinks they've pacified the Smith family, but they have no idea they've just created their own eventual downfall. Beth Smith doesn't need weapons yet. She's building something far more dangerous, a plan. The best part? She's just warming up. Earth Beth's maternal Rambo act was impressive, but now there's someone even scarier on the playing field. Time to meet Space Beth and watch the chaos level shoot through the roof at 25%. Now we enter the 25% zone, where Beth graduates from home defense to full-blown space rebel. This isn't your PTA carpool Beth anymore. This is Space Beth, a possible clone. Even she's not sure, and she doesn't care. Clone or not, she's got Rick's blood in her veins and a chip on her shoulder the size of a small moon. While Earth Beth tucks in the kids, Space Beth is light years away, leading a one-woman war against the new Galactic Federation. Her intro is the stuff of legends. A battalion of Gromflamite bug soldiers surrounds her on some distant outpost, chittering orders. Beth just cracks her knuckles, sporting sleek black armor with DIY upgrades, courtesy of Dad's tech, repurposed with a mother's touch. One firefight later, dozens of alien troops are in pieces, and Beth hasn't even messed up her hair. She's become such a nightmare for the Federation that they've given her a code name, probably something dramatic like the Earth Defector or Rebel Prime. But Beth? She doesn't care about dramatic monikers. She's too busy being effective. When Federation troops whisper about the clone that got away, they're talking about a force of nature that hits harder than a supernova and disappears faster than Rick's interest in parenting. In her ship, because of course she has her own starship now, Space Beth rockets through a Federation dreadnought's defenses like she's taking a Sunday drive. Incoming fighters on her tail, she outmaneuvers them with insane pilot skills that would make even Rick go die-um. She's got gadgets galore, a custom wrist-mounted laser blade for close encounters, and a portable shield generator that laughs off enemy fire. One scene she's sprinting down the halls of a Federation flagship, arm blade flickering neon, carving through armored insects like holiday turkey. Next, she's setting timed explosives, antimatter bombs anyone, in the ship's reactor core with a grin. Boom! One less dreadnought terrorizing the galaxy. This is Beth Unleashed, 25% of her full power, and she's already a name that makes Galactic Federation generals check under their beds at night. And here's the wild part. We're only at the quarter mark. Beth has so much more to give, and the galaxy isn't ready. Ready or not, 50% is knocking, and it's bringing dogfights and danger. Hit 50% and Beth Smith officially becomes a galactic glitch in the system, a one-woman rebellion turning the universe upside down. By now, Space Beth's exploits have earned her a spot on the Federation's most wanted list. Top 5, baby. Rick Sanchez might have blown up their bureaucracy once, but Beth is doing it old school, one mission at a time, with a streak of reckless swagger that'd make her dad proud. You think we're exaggerating? This Beth led a slave rebellion on a Federation-controlled planet just because she could. Picture her swooping in with guns blazing, overriding the palace gates, and freeing an entire species before lunch. We actually see Rick's reaction when he learns about her exploits. Genuine surprise mixed with reluctant pride. This is the man who's seen everything, conquered dimensions, and toppled governments. And he's legitimately impressed by what his daughter has accomplished. Space Beth has become something Rick never expected. An equal. That's right, Mr. Genius I Do What I Want is proud, grudgingly or not, of his daughter's galactic havoc. He even calls it her Star Wars phase. Rick had a hero phase once? He assumes she'll grow out of it. Beth's response? No, you did. At half power, Beth commands her own attack cruiser, zipping through space battles with Morty and Summer riding shotgun and screaming in the back. Federation fighters swarm her ship, maybe a dozen at a time, but she barrel rolls through laser fire, cackling. To her, this is a joyride. She's planting bombs on enemy bases, sabotaging doomsday devices, and basically doing everything short of painting Beth Wu's here on the wreckage. When the Federation debuts a planet-destroying super weapon, the NX-5 Planet Remover, sponsored by Wrangler Jeans because even Apocalypse has merch, who races to intercept it? Beth, of course. She literally flies into the belly of the beast with Rick and the family tagging along, treating the whole crisis like a casual family outing / save the world mission. Beth at 50% has become what the Federation fears Rick could be, a legendary thorn in their thorax. She's not a super scientist or a cybernetic killing machine. She's something scarier, a determined mom on a mission with zero patience for galactic bullies. And she's got backup now, because coming up is the ultimate team-up nobody expected, not even Rick, Beth versus the universe ×2. Welcome to 69% power, where things get kinky? Nah, just double deadly. At 69%, Beth does the impossible and teams up with herself. Two Beths, Earth Beth and Space Beth, side by side, dishing out synchronized justice. If you thought one Beth was formidable, two Beths fighting in tandem is basically the Smith family's version of a nuclear option, and they unleash it at the perfect moment. An all-out rooftop brawl against Rick's most fearsome foe. The scene, a high-tech Federation platform, sparks flying, the night sky lit by explosions. Rick lies crumpled, bleeding out after a brutal beatdown from Phoenixperson. Yes, that Phoenixperson, aka Bird Person reborn as a genocidal cyborg with firepower to level cities. This guy is a walking tank who's been mopping the floor with Rick. We're talking metal wings, arm cannons, the works. He's about to finish Rick off when wham! Two figures slam down onto the roof between Rick and the Bird Maniac. It's Beth and Beth, united and pissed. Earth Beth has a makeshift armor rig courtesy of her garage genius father. Rick's emergency arsenal now firmly in her hands. Space Beth is in her signature combat suit, already pulling out twin laser pistols. Phoenixperson pauses, one cybernetic eye flickering in confusion. Rick's squabbling daughter and her duplicate? Really? Before he can scoff, the Beths attack. They come at him from both sides without missing a beat. Both Beths coordinate their attack with the precision of a surgical strike. Space Beth's tech expertise meets Earth Beth's raw determination, and suddenly this unstoppable killing machine has two problems he wasn't programmed to handle. He staggers. This mechanoid warlord actually staggers, caught off guard by the synchronized assault from Rick's daughters. The Beths share a quick smile. The two Beths fight with an almost telepathic coordination, each covering the other's blind spots. There's something deeply unsettling about watching two versions of the same person work together this seamlessly. Like they've been training for this moment their entire lives. Even in the heat of battle, they're sharing that knowing look that only comes from literally being yourself. Phoenixperson is enraged. He launches into the air, then dive bombs both Beths with a flurry of rocket punches. For a second, it's all dust and chaos. Morty and Summer watch from the sidelines, slack-jawed. Is Mom actually going toe-to-toe with a cybernetic bird assassin? You bet she is. Twofold. When the debris clears, both Beths are still standing. A bit roughed up, but nothing serious. And Phoenixperson looks genuinely worried. Rick's lying there coughing up blood, seeing double in more ways than one, and even he manages a proud half smile. In the end, it takes a sneaky Jerry with a puppet, long story, to finally drop Phoenixperson for good, but make no mistake. The Beths held their own against a freaking Terminator with feathers. They even had him distracted and vulnerable. The hard part was done. The two Beths literally saved Rick's life by tag teaming his strongest enemy, then strolled away cracking jokes about being each other's wives. 69% power isn't just a fun number. It's proof that Beth might be the fiercest being in two galaxies when she's got her own back, literally. And believe it or not, we've got one last stage. What could be more powerful than Beth plus Beth throwing hands? How about Beth confronting the one person she's chased approval from her whole life and realizing she doesn't need it at all? This is 100% Beth, the final form. And here's the twist. 100% isn't about new weapons or bigger explosions. It's about Beth together with herself, literally. Beth Prime and Space Beth working in perfect sync become an unstoppable double act that even Rick can't control. Picture the aftermath of that insane battle. The family's safe. Phoenixperson is scrap metal. The Federation is in shambles. Rick, battered and half humbled, tries one last play to reassert his genius superiority. He unveils a secret memory vial, the key to the biggest question that's been looming. Which Beth is the clone and which is the original? The old Rick would have dangled this over her, made her feel less than for not knowing. He expects drama. He expects one of his daughters to break down or rage or something. But 100% Beth doesn't play that game. The two Beths exchange a look, an understanding only they share, and then they laugh. They actually laugh at Rick and his little glowing vial of truth. Earth Beth steps forward, barely concealing her disgust. Both Beths make it crystal clear. They don't need his revelation, don't want his secrets, and sure as hell don't need his approval anymore. Their rejection is calm, unified, and absolutely devastating. Rick's ultimate trump card, the truth that was supposed to control them, becomes worthless in the face of their mutual self-acceptance. Oof. The entire Smith clan's jaws drop, except Morty and Summer, who are nodding like, yep, pretty much. Rick stands there, memory vial in hand, completely flabbergasted. This man has toppled governments, erased entire timelines, turned people into pickles, and here are his own daughters telling him, flat out, that his approval and his secrets mean absolutely nothing to them. They don't even want to know who's real, because frankly, they're both real and they're both Beth. Rick Sanchez, the grandfather who's always 10 steps ahead, did not see that coming. In that moment, Beth has effectively beaten Rick at the only battle he ever really cared about, the battle for control. She shattered the manipulative, egomaniacal hold he had over his family just by asserting her worth. 100% Beth is self-actualized. She knows who she is. Clone, original, doesn't matter. And what she stands for. She's a protector of her family, a spacefaring badass, and a woman who will straight up tell her all-powerful genius father to sit down and shut up. When Rick tries to protest, Summer and Morty back their moms. We have two badass moms now. That's a win-win. Imagine hearing that if you're Rick, your grandkid's basically saying, "We're good, thanks." The look on Rick's face. Pure defeat. He's not the god of this household anymore. Beth is. So how strong is Beth really at 100%? Strong enough to scare Rick. And here's the kicker, Beth Smith is only going to get stronger. The next time the galaxy threatens her family or some cyber psycho comes for Rick, she'll be back, and she'll be even more inevitable. You think 100% is the end? Please. This woman might hit 200% just to prove a point. So strap in, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do to stay on her good side, because Beth Smith isn't just a wine mom anymore. She's the scariest Smith in any timeline, and she's just getting started.